So I want you to visualize something for me for a second. Something really mundane.
Okay.
Think about your front door. There's usually a mat there, maybe a rack. And on that rack, there's just this pile of shoes.
Ah, yes. The visual clutter of everyday life.
Exactly. You've got your beat up sneakers, maybe some heavy winter boots, those heels you wore to a wedding 3 years ago.
And haven't touched since.
Yeah,
I know the pile.
right. And most people, they look at that pile and they just see utility. It's raining, I'll take the boots. Or meeting today, I need the dress shoes.
Sure. Practical choices.
But the research we're looking at today suggests that pile of shoes isn't just footwear, it's an armory. And when you pick one, you aren't just covering your feet, you are making an existential choice about who you're going to be for the next 12 hours.
I mean, an armory, that sounds pretty dramatic when you put it that way.
Doesn't it? But it fits.
It really does. And that is exactly where this research goes. So today, we're doing a deep dive into this really dense, really fascinating article by Emilia Nadrotowska-Choba.
Right. It's titled Emilia's Psychology of Fashion, Louboutin and Shoes That Tell Stories.
Exactly. And before anyone tunes out thinking this is just a fashion review or a history of the red-bottomed shoe.
It's not. We aren't talking about trends. I couldn't care less what's in for autumn.
Not at all. Nadrotowska-Choba is using Christian Louboutin's philosophy as a lens for clinical psychology. She's arguing that the shoe is a narrative device,
A tool.
a tool we use to negotiate the boundary between our private selves and the public world.
And that's the core premise I want to start with. The article talks about putting on shoes as a moment of self-creation, but play devil's advocate for me. How is that really different from putting on a shirt or a watch? Why do shoes get this special psychological weight in her analysis?
It really boils down to physics and symbolism.
Yeah.
The author points out something so obvious you kind of miss it. Shoes are the only part of our outfit that actually touches the ground. They are our literal contact point with reality. So when Louboutin talks about shoes, he's obsessed with the step. The step. The physical way you move through the world. I mean, a shirt might change how you look, sure, but a shoe changes how you walk, how you stand, how you physically relate to everything around you.
Okay, I see that.
And Nadrotowska-Choba argues that because of this, shoes have this unique power to either dress or undress a person.
Let's unpack that terminology, because undressing usually means one thing, but she's being metaphorical here.
Deeply metaphorical. In this context, to dress means to build a wall. It's about creating distance, formality, control.
Like a suit of armor.
Exactly. Think of a structured, hard-soled business shoe. It dresses you by encasing the foot. It signals, I am separate, I am professional, keep your distance.
And undressing would be the opposite.
It's about permeability. It's about exposing yourself, inviting intimacy.
Cool.
The author uses the example of, say, a delicate sandal or a ballet flat. Those shoes expose the skin. They're soft. They let you walk more naturally. They signal an emotional accessibility.
So it's a spectrum of vulnerability.
It's a total spectrum of vulnerability. And the fascinating part is that we make this choice every single morning, often completely.
Subconsciously.
Subconsciously. We're deciding, do I want to be armored today or do I want to be accessible?
This brings us to what I thought was maybe the most intellectually stimulating part of the article, the paradox of the high heel.
Ah, yes.
Because if we follow that logic armor versus openness, the high heel seems to occupy this really weird middle ground.
It does. It's a complete paradox. On the one hand, it touches the ground, so it's your anchor to reality. But on the other hand, its entire function is to lift you off the ground.
Literally elevating you.
But Nadrotowska-Choba frames this as a philosophical separation. She says the heel elevates a woman to distance her from mediocrity in everyday life. It's a deliberate rejection of the mundane.
When you wear a stiletto, you're physically rising above the common ground.
You are. It sounds like a power move, right?
It does, but also a little detached, maybe.
It is a power move. It's an act of self-creation where you're saying, I am distinct from the reality I walk on. But, and this is the catch, that elevation comes at a cost.
Stability.
Precisely. And this is where the psychology gets so sharp. The author notes that while the heel reinforces your stature, it makes you taller, more imposing, more visible, it simultaneously weakens the step.
So you look stronger, but you are physically more likely to fall over.
Yes, it's a weapon that risks a fall. I just love that phrasing.
Wow.
It suggests that projecting power with a high heel is actually a gamble. You are trading your stability for status. You're betting that your heightened appearance will command enough respect that no one will try to push you.
Because if they do, you don't have the footing to
You
resist.
have no footing.
Yep.
It completely reframes that whole power suit idea, doesn't it? It's not just dominance. It's a precarious dominance.
It's a performance of dominance that's actually hiding a physical vulnerability.
Yes. And this idea of performance is a perfect transition to the next section, the archetypes.
Right. The article says Louboutin sees his shoes not as objects, but as beings with their own personality.
Like characters on a stage?
Exactly. And if we look at our own closet as like a casting agency, we have a few specific rules we can choose. I really want to go through these. The first one is the macho shoe.
Okay, so this is your heavy, warrior-like footwear. Think combat boots, chunky platforms, thick soles.
Which have become so popular in high fashion lately. Why is that? Is it just about comfort?
It's way more than comfort. Psychologically, the text sees this as a challenge to stereotypes. Traditionally, feminine footwear is supposed to be delicate, light, fragile.
Right.
The macho shoe just rejects that. It crosses a boundary. When a woman wears this, she is subverting the expectation that she should be light on her feet. She's grounding herself. She's signaling strength, permanence.
It's the armor, but without the precariousness of the high heel.
That's a perfect way to put it. It's practical armor.
Yeah.
But then we swing to the complete opposite end of the spectrum. This stylish high heel.
And this is where the author has her most, I think, counterintuitive insight.
This is the part that surprised me too. Because we usually associate the perfect sharp stiletto with pure confidence. The CEO, the movie star.
Of course.
But the article suggests there's something else lurking there. Nadratelsko-Chuba argues that the stylish high heel, the flawless, elegant, perfect one, is often a mask for subtle insecurity.
A mask for insecurity. How?
Well, think about the sheer effort it takes to maintain that image. The perfect walk, the perfect balance, the shoe has to be pristine. The author calls this a shield of flawlessness.
A shield used to hide emotions.
Yes, the logic is, if I look absolutely perfect on the outside, if my silhouette is sharp and impenetrable, then you won't see the mess or the fear inside.
So it's a kind of distraction technique.
It's a defense mechanism. It's the "sake it till you make it" shoe. Unlike the macho shoe that says, "I'm ready to fight," the stylish heel says, "I am untouchable."
But being untouchable is a lonely, anxious place to be.
It's a barrier against the raw truth of the person.
Which makes the third archetype so interesting by contrast. The friend.
The loafer, the flat, the sneaker.
The shoe you actually wear when nobody's looking.
Chuckles. Often, yes. The text describes these as neutral, seemingly friendly. They offer support. But there's a deeper, almost political meaning here, too.
Which is?
The author calls choosing the friend shoe a manifesto of freedom.
Freedom from the performance.
Freedom from aesthetic expectations entirely. When you choose the friend, you are basically stepping out of the game. You're not trying to be the warrior. You're not trying to be the perfect doll. You are refusing to dress or undress in those extreme ways.
It's a claim to comfort.
Which, in the world of high fashion, is a radical act. It says, my comfort is more important than your visual pleasure. That is a very strong identity statement.
Interesting. There was one final archetype mentioned. The shoe that speaks.
Yes, the shoe for the woman who speaks. This is the outlier. This is the shoe that's unique, maybe eccentric, maybe super colorful, doesn't really fit the other boxes.
Because it's a direct expression of the wearer's own voice.
Exactly. It's the shoe that says, I'm here and I have something to say.
So we have the warrior, the mask, the friend, and the speaker. But I want to circle back to that idea of the mask. Because the article doesn't just say we wear them, it says we need them.
This is the pragmatic, maybe slightly darker side of the psychology here. Nadratelsko-Chuba argues that the mask is often an absolute necessity because, well, reality refuses to accept a woman in her raw truth.
That's a heavy statement. Reality refuses to accept the raw truth.
It just means that social codes are rigid. If you walked into a corporate boardroom barefoot or in sloppy slippers, you wouldn't be heard. Your raw truth would be rejected.
So the shoe becomes the necessary interface, the adapter plug that lets you connect to the social grid.
That's it. It's not just vanity. We aren't just buying pretty shoes. We're buying them to survive in different environments.
Survival is the key word.
Yes. She reframes fashion from a consumerist hobby to a survival instinct. We are navigating this incredibly complex social landscape of roles and expectations. The shoe is how we signal that we know the rules of the game and that we're playing, even if we're secretly subverting them.
This connects to the section on semiotics. Now, for anyone listening who might not be familiar with that term, can you give us the quick and dirty?
Sure. Semiotics is just the study of signs and symbols. It's the idea that an object isn't just an object, it's a word in a language. The famous philosopher here is Roland Barthes, who argued that fashion is a language.
So when you put on a jacket, you are speaking a sentence about who you are.
Right. And Louboutin is essentially expanding that vocabulary. He sees shoes as a tool for personal transgression. They are a screen where we project our desires, our fears, our ambitions.
But the article's crucial insight here is about ambiguity.
Yes. A shoe is not a fixed definition. It doesn't just mean one thing. Its meaning is fluid. It changes completely based on the context.
Give me an example.
Okay, if you wear combat boots to a punk show, you're fitting in. If you wear those same combat boots to a black tie gala, you are transgressing. You are breaking all the rules.
So the wearer creates the meaning, not just the designer.
The wearer creates the meaning by placing the shoe in a specific context. The article says a woman creates a new version of herself with every choice. She is an act of interpretation.
This brings up a question I think a lot of people struggle with, especially today with social media and personal branding. If I change my shoes to change my personality, if I'm the warrior today and the friend tomorrow, am I being fake? Is that inauthentic?
That is the million-dollar question. And Nadratas Kachuba tackles it head-on. She basically challenges our standard definition of authenticity.
Which is what we tend to think of it as this solid, unchanging core, right? The real me.
Exactly. This diamond deep inside us that we have to dig out and show the world. But the author argues that authenticity isn't a fixed point. It is a dynamic process of negotiation.
A negotiation between who?
Between you, the individual, and the world. It's a battlefield. The world imposes these patterns on us. Be professional, be sexy, be a good mom. The individual has to push back against those patterns to carve out space for themselves.
And the shoe is the weapon in that battle.
It's one of the weapons. So being authentic doesn't mean being the same person every single day.
No. The text says a woman is a multitude. She is transformation.
Authenticity is the act of choosing how you engage with the world in that specific moment. It's not about lying. It's about a projection of who we want to become. It's aspirational.
I really like that distinction. It's not a disguise, it's a prototype.
That is a brilliant way to put it. A prototype of the self.
And it connects right back to that line you highlighted for me earlier. Shoes are not the truth about a woman.
Shoes are not the truth about a woman. They are the truth about her attempt to survive in a world of roles and masks. That's the quote that just stops you in your tracks.
It really does. It strips away all the superficiality of the fashion industry. It's not about shopping.
Not at all. It turns your closet into a strategic operations center. The most important thing isn't knowing which shoes are in style. It's knowing how to choose with awareness.
Awareness of the trade-off.
Awareness that, okay, today I need the armor because I'm feeling vulnerable. Or today I can afford to wear the friend because I feel safe. It's about taking that unconscious habit and turning it into a conscious ritual of self-definition.
So instead of sleepwalking into our shoes, we wake up and choose our weapon.
Or our olive branch.
Yeah.
Or our manifesto.
It makes me wonder about the people who sort of refuse to choose. You know, the people who just wear the same beat-up sneakers every single day, no matter the occasion. Are they just opting out of the conversation?
Well, according to this text, you can't opt out. Even the neutral choice is still a choice. Even silence is a form of speech. By refusing to play the fashion game, you're still making a statement. You are saying, I reject your system. And that is still a position in the negotiation.
You're still at the table, you're just crossing your arms.
Exactly. You can't turn off the semiotics just because you don't care about them.
That's actually a bit terrifying.
It is. It means we are constantly broadcasting, whether we mean to or not.
But it breeds a kind of empathy, doesn't it?
I think so. I really do. When you realize that the woman in the towering, impractical heels might be wearing them as a shield against insecurity, not as a display of arrogance, it changes how you see her.
And the woman in the combat boots, you see her desire for grounding.
We're all just trying to navigate what the author calls the labyrinth of meanings.
A labyrinth is the perfect image. We're all just looking for the path through.
And looking for the right shoes to walk it in.
So to bring this all together for everyone listening, we've gone from the physical act of dressing to the psychological act of armoring. We've looked at the archetypes, the warrior, the friend, the mask. And we've landed on this idea of authenticity as a negotiation.
A negotiation where the stakes are your own identity.
Yeah, it's a lot more than just, does this match my belt?
Just a little bit more, yes.
I want to leave everyone with a final thought to carry into their day, specifically about this ongoing struggle we just talked about. We've established that your shoes are the interface between you and the world's expectations.
Right.
So take a look down. Right now. Look at your feet. What conversation are those shoes having with the room you're in? Are they shouting for attention? Are they whispering an apology? Are they fighting for space? Or are they hiding?
And then ask yourself, is that the conversation you actually want to be having?
Exactly, because in this negotiation between you and the world, you're the one who gets to decide who's winning.
Make sure it's you.
Thanks for diving deep with us. We'll see you next time.